I'm Jessie Masioliva. I'm from Labindam, but I live in Mombasa. I like listening to Gold FM.
Only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Sadie Sakio from Kashmir Lotoka. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Sakata Losana. I'm from Butua and I love listening to Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, Fiji. In this bulletin, Fiji waits for budget announcement. Lifeline continues to receive concerns. And North sugar farmers raise major issues.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
In the next hour, Fiji will learn of its latest budget, which is one of the most anticipated in modern-day history. All eyes will be on Minister for Economy Aya Said Qayyum, as this budget is expected to be totally confined to countering the impact of COVID-19. This week, FBC News has profiled the retail sector, manufacturers, government ministries and average Fijians on what their hopes are. The general consensus is that government expenditure will be reduced, while stimulus packages for the private sector will be prioritized to spur economic activity amidst the financial chaos caused by COVID-19. Koroi Tandulala reports.
The economic downturn means government revenue is slow, and so the writing is on the wall. There will be less to go around for all ministries.
Obviously, must be based on the country's economy. So we know for sure that we have to do more with less.
We anticipate a reduction in our previous budget.
The Ministry of Economy is likely to maintain its policy of directing larger portions of the budget to health and education, but at a reduced level. It's estimated that tax collection by the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service has dropped by up to 50%, and this will have an impact on how much money can be channeled to other ministries. Some tough decisions will have to be made about which initiatives can be maintained and where the funding will come from. The banking sector and businesses are hoping the budget announcement will provide more assurances and confidence in doing business.
It should be a stimulus budget, where we need to put some money into it, bring some activity into the market. So those sort of things which, they are looking at it. As far as my own personal view, I think that's the only way to do it.
We all have to wait for the budget, and then from there, rather than speculating, then we can see what's happening in the market,
There will probably, I guess, be some aid, there'll be some tightening of the belt by the government, and hopefully there's some increased spending to stimulate the economy.
With thousands of people without jobs or on reduced hours, everyday Fijians are pinning their hopes on the budget as well.
I'm expecting assistance to be provided to farmers and those affected by COVID-19.
I expect that it will be a good one, and it will help us, especially for people who are still in need.
I'm expecting a good budget allocation for the education sector.
The challenges for the government are a tourism industry earning almost zero income, flights grounded due to border closures, reduced economic activity and fluctuating local consumption. All these and other factors means less income for state-funded programs like roads, water projects and a long list of capital expenditures. Tonight's announcement will reveal where funds will be directed. Speculation is already rife on possible increases in tax, while the government has already confirmed it's had talks with the World Bank and Asian Development Bank for additional loans to shore up a shortfall in revenue. What remains to be seen is whether the government can maintain its tried and tested formula for budget allocations, given the blow that Fiji has taken due to the coronavirus. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The Ministry of Defence, National Security and Policing will base its approach and strategies for the coming financial year according to the 2020-2021 budget allocation. Minister Nia Seruratu says they are aware of the economic downturn due to the pandemic, but are still looking forward to the budget. Lena Rees has more.
The Defence Minister highlighted the ministry will continue to work towards eliminating security threats in the region, which includes climate change, cybersecurity threats, human and drug trafficking.
I have already In preparation for this budget, held discussions with my senior officials, particularly the permanent secretary and the senior management of the ministries that come under my portfolio, that I think for the next financial year, it's not about working harder, but it's about working smarter. That should be the approach that we take.
Commissioner of Police Brigadier General Sitiveni Ngilio had earlier highlighted that more drones will be procured for the ongoing war on drugs.
What we used to do manually with men trekking into the dense forest can now be done quickly with drones. We had purchased 2 drones with government funds that was provided in the running budget for the fight against drugs.
The Fiji Police Force was allocated $177.8 million in the current 2019-2020 national budget, of which $800,000 was provided to undertake special drug operations. Lena Rees, FBC News.
The Housing Authority has received more than 340 applications for its COVID-19 relief packages. The authority had announced the payment relief options for its customers to help ease the financial burdens caused by the pandemic. Kritika Kumar reports.
Some of the Housing Authority customers have taken 3 months loan repayment holiday or are only paying interest.
Okay, we have received close to 347 relief package applications. We have processed 290 applications done, and I think close to 30 applications were declined due to reasons that do not qualify. I think one of the criteria for the relief was that people or our customers who have lost job, or they are on reduced pay, or they are on reduced hours, or if they are self-employed and their businesses are affected by COVID.
SEN says proper checks are being conducted to ensure correct information is being provided by the customers.
One of the criteria we wanted was to get the employment data from the Human Resource Department, and we do call back and check whether this particular person has been in work or has been released.
Meanwhile, Housing Minister Premila Kumar says they are also working on providing relief to those living in the informal settlements.
But there are other settlements where the work is progressing. The scheme plan is completed. We are now in the engineering plan phase, and once that is completed, then we will be going to the third phase, which is the construction phase.
Kumar says residents living in Zuvu, Lendrusasa and Waindamundamu informal settlements can expect their land leases by the end of the year. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Non-government organisation Lifeline Fiji received 328 calls in June alone. Team leader Lifeline, Jeremiah Mirakula, says this is a massive increase when compared to previous months. Saniani Boiler reports.
Out of the 328 cases received by Lifeline Fiji last month, 303 were crisis support calls, with 60 callers needing help because of suicidal thoughts.
This is a massive increase. Mostly these 300 calls is usually received in the span of 2 months. But having that that increase, like I mentioned, this is something that was expected.
Mirakula says with the COVID-19 impact gripping the country, they are expecting the numbers to rise.
One of the things that we were really looking forward of is from the month of June, July, August, September, and so on, when all this honeymoon period is finished, with the help from the government, help from elsewhere, and people start to realize the new norm that is happening.
The Social Welfare Ministry is also continuing to receive requests for more assistance by those affected by the pandemic, and relevant referrals have been done for these cases.
At the moment, we are looking at working with partnership with other stakeholders. Believe that there are stakeholders out there in the community who have programs where they are distributing food packs and groceries. And so we're liaising with them, and how we can refer cases, needy cases, to such organizations. Yeah.
Lifeline Fiji has received more than 2,000 calls for help last year. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Cane farmers in Lambasa and Senganga are concerned with the high premium and rent charged by the Itaukei Land Trust Board for their leases. The issue was raised during a Talanoa session in Madawata between the farmers and the Itaukei Lands Trust Board, Fiji Sugar Corporation, Sugarcane Growers Council and the Sugar Research Institute.
Senganga cane farmer Jane Ryan told the Talanoa session in Senganga yesterday he has to pay $30,000 premium for his 87-acre farm with an annual rent of $1,800, and for his 21-acre farm he has to pay $15,000 in premium and $1,000 rent, the amounts of which he says are too much for him to bear.
So I wrote to the general manager here TV asking for requesting him if my payment could be reduced a little bit so that I can also buy some machinery for my farm to increase the production of my farm.
Similar concerns were raised by cane farmers in Wainikoro and Solobe during Talanoa sessions yesterday and on Wednesday. In response, TLTB Deputy General Manager Solomon Inata stated the lease premium and rent are charged according to the Agricultural Landlord and Tenant Act.
The classification of the land is based under ALTA. In ALTA there are 4 classes. One is class 1, high, class 2, class 3, and class 4, which is the lowest there. For the rent, the similar concept, the similar process. Based on the land classification, that's the value. And the value are set by the government. It's not set by TLTB.
Cane farmers are normally given a period of 5 years to pay off their lease premiums, which is a one-off payment, while the lease rent is paid annually. Eleanor Turangaibiu, FBC News.
Up ahead, tambor sold at unregulated price and villagers receive free medical checkup.
मेरा नाम शिबू है मैं तावा टाउन में रहता हूँ and I love listening to Mirchi FM it's hot.
My name is Karthik Abdestan और बाग में Mirchi FM it's hot.
नमस्कार मैं अलीम हूँ लंबासा से मैं हमेशा मिर्ची FM सुनता हूँ मिर्ची FM is hot in लंबासा.
Mirchi FM it's hot.
The Ministry of Itaukei Affairs confirms receiving reports of Fijians selling tambua or whale's teeth at an unregulated price. In a bid to address the issue, the ministry is consulting with the 14 provinces to collate the input of village and district representatives regarding a standard price for tambua. Chasai Nanunga reports.
Over the years,
Permanent Secretary Meletium Bainimarama says considering the parties and processes involved, there is a lot to consider before tabling a final report.
Much of it is concerned with other ministries because the Ministry of Fisheries will need to determine the pricing. We have the Ministry of Environment because of the CITES agreement, and also we need to have some legal opinion and legal advice from the Solicitor General.
Supermarket handicraft operator Marisa Wea says it's high time for the ministry to impose a regulated tambua price.
Right now, it's rare to find handicrafts that sells tambua. I don't know why, but for me, I used to sell over 10 tambuas in the past 5 years. But now I can only sell 1 to 2 in a week, and I determine the tambua price tags based on their size.
The budget for the Ministry of Itaukei Affairs in 2019 to 2020 is $15.4 million. $50,000 was used for consultation, including consideration of establishing a tambua shop. The ministry is optimistic they will receive the same allocation in this financial year, something that will be revealed in tonight's National 2020-2021 budget address. Chosai Nanunga, FBC News.
The Seventhday Adventist Church has been one of the main contributors to the community awareness and rehabilitation of ex-offenders network in recent months. This is a program under the Yellow Ribbon Project, introduced by the Fiji Corrections Service as part of the process to rehabilitate inmates and return them to society. The church has called on other religious groups to join the initiative to help these inmates become better people. Venina Rakautonga has more.
The role of the community in the rehabilitation of inmates is crucial.
I think the Fiji Corrections Service cannot handle this alone. It needs the help of other stakeholders. We need to work together so that we can have a safe and a better community in Fiji.
Pastor Talemo Dhakombau says the community should never disregard the inmates as the prisoners become members of the society again once they are released.
But now we can say we can boldly come enough in the front to tell people that we do care about them.
Corrections Director of Rehabilitation's Senior Superintendent Salote Panapasa is encouraging community members to partner with the Care Network program.
We cannot do this work alone. At the end of the day, these prisoners will return to their to the community. They will return to their various homes, and we believe that engaging with churches will help sustain the programs that we currently have in all the institutions.
The Corrections Service is already in partnership with the Methodist Church in Fiji and are looking to work with other religious groups. Venina Rakautonga, FBC News.
Reports of illegal fishing have been received by the Fisheries Ministry through its surveillance operations with the Fiji Navy in the past 3 months. Minister Semi Koroi-Lavasau says at a time when Fijians are turning to the ocean for income, some are breaching regulations by using extreme fishing methods. Kelly Vavala reports.
There is reports of dynamite fishing in the Western Division and a few cases are now before the courts.
There's been reports of fishing using dynamite.
Yeah.
And that has been, that's basically when we approach the Navy to assist us because it's a bit complicated than our normal activities that we carry out. So we've done that. It is mainly around the western area from Lautoka to Watakola. As you know, the source of the explosive is from Watakola.
Koroi-Lavasau says boarding inspections were also carried out where some fishermen were found fishing in areas not listed in their respective licenses.
One is the license, one is the fishing within the areas that they are licensed to fish in. I think some have encroached into other Golingori areas, and basically that's a problem that that has been highlighted.
The Environment Ministry says such illegal activities, including overfishing in a particular marine area, will damage the ecosystem.
We need to be aware of this in the back of our mind as to what if there is overfishing. That's not an immediate threat, as in there is a threat for a couple of species like Kawakawa and Dono.
The Fisheries Ministry says it plans to continue its partnership with the Fiji Navy in the next financial year. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Villagers from Taiperia and Wainivindio in Navua today went through important medical checkups at the Sanjivani Medical Center in Suva. The centre under the Sai Prema Foundation had visited the two villages last Sunday to distribute food rations and noticed some families needed medical attention. Apenesa Wangarandovo reports.
Coming to Suva was not a waste for these Fijians who will return home knowing that health should always be a priority.
The challenges I face in the rural community actually about health things is that most of the times we're so complacent about taking our grandchildren, taking our children. Actually, I'm a grandparent, I'm a great-grandparent, and sometimes we take it for granted that the child is sick and bound to get up again. No, get up and walk again tomorrow. But then we have places like this now.
The adults had their sugar and blood pressure checked, while the children went through heart screening.
Out of the 40, about 6 of the children have been booked for echoes at our screening centre because they had some murmurs. So that was a really good pickup, and certainly if these children have some heart issues, whether it's congenital or rheumatic, it's going to be picked up when they have their echoes.
Foundation Secretary Rimal Tapu says they are maximizing They held on-wheel programs to help those in rural Fiji receive medical assistance.
Through these free outreaches, we're able to cover more rural people and able to prevent major health episodes, so that the idea is that prevention is better than cure.
The Cyprema Foundation, while providing medical services, has recently been distributing food to Fijians in need. Apenisawangarandobu, FBC News.
And it's business time now with Whitney.
Thanks, Jackie. In business tonight, tourism industry stakeholders work on future plans. And positive response to Fiji's Blue Lane initiative. Stay with us.
Sangare, ko sa inyo na time, ang may na oro na alo may maduaan. Ngayon to alahi na Radio Fiji 1, nando mo ibiti.
Tambol Vinaka, narango sela sa takau, au vati ko may botkola, au taka tingai tabua, ondo may boli tina singile bango na makete, ondo tali taka na barrong na Radio Fiji 1, ondo mo ibiti.
Wala binariki. Ayaw na ako kailanay, tapos may nakuro na lota mayangit na may pa. Daw talitangin niya na ito may bitin ang tumungan ni Bayan yan.
Radio Fiji 1, nando mo ibiti.
Ahead of tonight's budget announcement, the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association says its members are working together on what they can do to sustain the industry. Chief Executive Fantasia Lockington says Tourism Fiji is laying the platform to improve delivery and mapping strategy. Lockington says COVID-19 has forced tourism businesses to re-evaluate how they run operations. She says the focus now is recovery plans and what they can be done better after COVID-19.
The National Tourism Office and responsible for marketing Fiji as a destination or as a preferred destination is working very closely with our tourism members to make sure that we develop marketing plans that have this strategic focus, that it is going forward into a COVID-safe world, and that we send out the very, very important message that Fiji is a safe destination for you to come to as a visitor.
American Airlines announced it will send 25,000 potential furlough notice to its employees. U.S. law requires companies with 100 or more employees to provide 60 days notice of potential layoffs. We now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
In the foreign exchange market, the US dollar continued to remain popular, with those turning to safe haven assets today. Investors are concerned about the global economic recovery as the number of COVID-19 cases continue to smash records. Meanwhile, according to data released, US retail sales continued to show considerable improvement in June. They were up by 7.5%. However, their initial jobless claims reached 1.3 million last week. Over the past 4 months, more than 51 million Americans have filed for new unemployment claims. Elsewhere, the Chinese yuan suffered its biggest drop in 3 weeks, mainly affected by a steady increase in diplomatic friction between the US and China. The euro is expected to take center stage this weekend as EU leaders meet in Brussels to see if they can overcome their differences regarding a proposed stimulus package. And that's all from HFC Bank for this week. Have a wonderful weekend. Vinaka.
Turning to today's local exchange rates as set this morning. It was a mixed day on the foreign exchange market, with the Fiji dollar on the rise across the region, gaining on the Aussie and Kiwi dollars, the PNG Kina and the Japanese yen. The Sangomoli was down a bit against the major currencies of the Chinese yuan and the US dollar and the euro. Commodities were on the downturn. Crude oil prices slipped a few cents but remain above the $40 a barrel mark. Gold dropped $10 to $1,798 per ounce, and silver closed down at $19.09 per ounce. As the Blue Lane initiative officially opened yesterday with the arrival of the first yacht, the yachting industry believes it's a positive sign for the economy. Port General Marina Limited Chief Executive Cynthia Rush says this is the first foreign vessel under the government's newly announced Blue Lane initiative to be allowed into the country after 4 months. Pranita Prakash reports.
The multi-million-dollar industry suffered a huge blow as restrictions were put in place to combat the spread of COVID-19 in March.
The super yacht, they spend around about 80 to 90 days in Fiji. Economic contribution is around about $250,000 per vessel. Similar to, there's about 160 to 170 days that a smaller yacht spends in Fiji, and they spend between $25,000 to $30,000 per vessel in Fiji. Economic contribution would be somewhere in the vicinity of $60 to $70 million.
Rush says there has been an incredible response from cruises and super yachts.
At this moment, I've got around 30 to 40 applications that we are processing through with MCCTTT and with Ministry of Health. There are 7 boats out in the channel in quarantine at the moment, which are ready to come in as soon as the quarantine period is over.
First visitors to Fiji through Blue Lane Initiative acknowledged the safety measures undertaken by the Fijian government.
It's great. Fiji's done a really great job of finding a way to open their borders to the yachties, which I think is really good. And the Ministry of Health has done an excellent job in making sure that both our health that we're in good health, and that also the local Fijians have a very low risk to us.
Last year, 756 yachts came to Fiji, contributing more than $60 million to the economy. The Port Denera Marina was expecting more than 800 yachts this year. However, Cynthia Rush says while they lost a few months due to mandatory restrictions, they are positive the yachting industry will start sailing smoothly in the next few months. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
That's it from Business Tonight. We now join Jamie with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Whitney, and good evening. In Sports Tonight, fans reminded to download app. And Yasawa ready to enter the big league. This and more coming up.
हमारा नाम ललित नारायण है हम रेडियो पीजी 2 सुनता है रेडियो पीजी का इसके लड़का
जी हाँ मैं ताबुआ शहर से बोल रहा हूँ मेरा नाम शर्मा है फिलहाल मैं रेडियो पीजी 2 हमेशा सुनता हूँ जो रेडियो पीजी 2 देश का धड़कन
मेरा नाम चंद्रा है मैं रकेती से बात करती हूँ आप के राम राम मुझे रेडियो पीजी 2 बहुत पसंद है
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन
Many fans who turned up to watch the Vodafone Premier League match between Ba and Lautoka on Wednesday did not have the Care Fiji app. The Fiji National Sports Commission and Fiji Football Association say it's worrying that people are not paying attention to the requirements for attending live games during the pandemic. Aquila Dama has more.
Social distancing was not the only concern at Churchill Park on Wednesday night.
The majority of people were not registered on the Care Fiji app, and very clearly government had said that if you're attending sporting functions you must register.
The Fiji FA says checking for the app may be a time-consuming process, but it has to be done.
Some cases the people had even smartphones, but they had not downloaded it. I said one of the conditions is that you must download, but those with a normal phone, we took their details in the day. Patrons should be advised in future they should come early so that this process is strictly followed.
Yusuf also says starting tomorrow there will be no family bubbles in any match as per the directive from the Fiji Sports Commission yesterday.
From this weekend at all the venues in Sori, Rathazakambo Park, Uprising Resort in Navua, Ba Academy Ground, and at ANZ Stadium, and of course Subral Park in Lambasa, there'll be nobody allowed to sit in a bubble.
2 VPL matches will be played tomorrow and another 2 on Sunday. Aquila Dama, FBC Sport.
The Isawa rugby team is looking forward to debuting in the Skipper Cup competition this year. Qualifying after winning the Vanua Challenge in 2019, the island side is ready to roll with the big guns. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Yasawa is aiming for a perfect start to the Skipper Cup competition. However, the side knows it won't come easy.
Since this is our first time, we'd like to welcome our fans and our supporters since we are going to meet Nandi. We know Nandi is a very capable team and also he has been in the competition for quite a while.
The side resumed training at Nandovo Park in Lautoka after the COVID-19 restrictions were lifted.
Training goes on from the beginning of the year, and we came across that COVID-19. We have to build up again since last 2 weeks. So it takes a lot of efforts and time for us to do our preparations.
Yasawa also wants to stamp its mark on the competition and cement their spot among the top local teams.
As you know, this is our first year in the skipper competition. It's not very hard for us, but we've trained hard in the last 4-5 months now, from January, February, and we are looking for.
The side takes on Nandi at Churchill Park next Saturday at 3 p.m. Philippe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
The Suva Rugby Union will focus on adapting to the new norm as it prepares to launch its club competition on August 1st. The union has organized a pre-season build-up competition tomorrow that will see more than 15 teams participating. Caroline Tavi has more.
The Suva Rugby Union is taking on a new strategy for games during the pandemic.
First of all, this is a new norm that will be adopted by Suva and likewise the other provincial unions throughout Fiji. As I've already mentioned, it's a new norm, and we will shape the way we will play rugby according to the return to play protocols.
Fans can expect a series of intense competition as teams from various divisions vie for bragging rights.
We'll be having a total of 15 clubs that will be participating. We've also been informed by Faru that this will be the first set of rugby games post-COVID-19. And we have teams coming all the way from Lami, Walilevu, Namandi, Samamula, USP. We also have 2 faith-based teams.
Warm-up matches by the Suva Rugby Club teams will precede the Suva anti-level warm-up match that kicks off at 3 p.m. at Bidesi Grounds tomorrow. Carlini Tavi, FBC Sports.
Veteran national netball star Nina Virkisuva will return to the Fiji Pearls setup after a 1-year break from the sport. Virkisuva is part of the extended squad alongside household names Ana Rauluni and Vaiti Wangatambu. Tale Materakula reports.
Being named in the extended squad is step one for Virkisuva as she puts in the hard yards to make the final selection.
Actually a big challenge for me because right now I am really working on my fitness, which is something that I have to really work on before I earn my spot back in the national squad.
Having taken a break from netball in 2018, Virkisuva says she will need to make up for lost time.
Getting my court fitness back and also gaining some more strength there, as fitness is one of the main components of performing well out there. So I think just with commitment and sacrifices, I know that I'll be fit when trials when we have the trials.
Netball Fiji Secretary Lucy Rokoura says the inclusion of the veteran players adds depth to the squad.
Yes, our valuable veteran players, they're working just as hard, and we know with them being in the squad, we can allow them to gel in with the younger up-and-coming under 21 squad members.
The Fiji Pearls extended squad heads into its first training camp on Saturday at the Vodafone Arena in Suva. All training will be managed by NetGo Country Coordinator Unaisi Rokoura as the side awaits the selection of its new coach. Tali Materkula, FBC Sports.
Fijian Semi Valimei made his NRL debut for the Canberra Raiders last night, his side defeating the defending champions Roosters 24-20. Manchester United have earned the right to challenge for a top 4 finish in the Premier League after a fantastic spell of post-lockdown form, says boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. United maintained their relentless pursuit of a place in the Champions League with a hard-fought 2-0 win against Crystal Palace this morning. That's it from Sports Tonight. In new media after the break, a look at the recent Twitter hacks. This and more coming up.
My name is Charlotte. I'm from
love listening to the FM.
My name is Koto. I'm from Nagaranga. I love Today FM because of latest hit music and Today FM rocks.
My name is Sulweti. I'm from Nagaranga. Today FM rocks.
It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It was a wonderful Friday with sunshine pouring in across the country. I'm so glad the weekend is here and with it great weather accompanied. Well, let's see what the other centers had for the day. In the west, you need a sunscreen to be here. It's that humid. But the best part is that the weather is fine and totally fit for outings, picnics, river trips, you name it. Eastwards from Back Harbour to Suva, blissful sunshine. There was no sign of any rain. And up north, there couldn't be a better way to be enjoying weather under the big shady trees in Bulileka Lambasa or in Nakama Savu Savu. Now to the tides. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots along with moderate to rough seas. Turning to the tides, high tide at 10:05 p.m. with low tide at 4:23 a.m. Sunrise at 6:37. For tomorrow, it looks better from here. Looks like shopping day is attractive under the sun. Tomorrow's temps, most centers will be warm in lower 30s. The west can rise up to 32 to 35 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, more fine weather backed for your weekend. So have a great one and enjoy. That's the weather for now. It's back to Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, with Fiji Sevens reps returning to play Skipper Cup, are you excited to see them in action from next week?
I'm really excited to watch them display some Sevens magic during Skipper.
I'm looking forward to watch the Sevens play at Skipper Cup.
Yes, I'm really looking forward.
I'm looking forward to watch our Sevens players in action next week.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Fiji waits for budget announcement. Lifeline continues to receive concerns and North sugar farmers raise major issues. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question: are you excited to be watching National League matches live on free-to-air TV for the first time? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day and the final one for this week, and it was taken by Shorav of Mbule Road, Laudala Beach. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us on our FBC News Facebook page and Twitter at FBC_news. And remember, straight after this, we head off to Edwin Nund and his guests in studio as we build up to the budget announcement tonight. The announcement will commence at 7:30 p.m. Stay with us for all the latest as the budget is announced. That's your news for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Until tomorrow, Modamanda.
Navango la tila tarelau au daptu mana korbatura on tawaran kino ele na samta kon robe totale takana warang wali bana Mbula FM ira kina serap kena tumta ka da matagren
Mbula na hak dersia au waktu itu lo toka au talita kana warang na Mbula FM na banduan sere
Kalau minat biar terusan betapuan warang na Mbula FM na banduan sere
Bula FM, number 2 NSR.